That's it so far, and you're almost at 6, so yeah.
I'm sure it'll grow back.
I don't like being.
Yeah, that's.
I was one of those kids who always sat in the front row and raised my hand for everybody. Nobody liked it.
When I was in school, I was, and even in college as
So we don't know about tonight, right? Kelly, that's Kelly.
Do you say anything?
I don't know why we don't.
Dr. Neal, why don't we say the pledge only on regular meetings?
At regular meetings. That's a Kelly question, I think. That's a history. That's what Chris said. Wait, when you've been doing the job 28 years, are you like, wait a second, wait a second. Those are not let go hugs.
Miss Rosie, how are you?
Sit on.
Yeah.
Know why we don't sing the Pledge of Allegiance?
I don't know if we need to amend to do it, but I just was chatting with Chris. I was like, it would need unanimous support if we felt like we need to amend.
You would. And it's tonight a special meeting?
Who is this?
Can't amend. Oh, yeah, you have to unanimous. Go right now?
She's a director at our house.
Have to amend it. I didn't even notice we didn't do that last
I
night.
know, Sue brought it up and we're like, yeah, why not, right?
We never do it, I was just asking why.
Did you bring it up or somebody bring it up? Did you talk to her?
It's cool.
They said ask Kelly.
Said to ask who?
Kelly.
They were saying maybe Kelly would know why we don't normally.
Oh,
They can.
I feel really distant from everyone.
It's because we all crammed together last night. This is how board meetings,
I kept distracting Chris last night.
this is how board meetings have always traditionally been. Is like this. And without that.
More like the facilities meeting.
Yeah.
More like the facilities meeting was.
Chris had to hit me last night and I appreciated it. Now he's ignoring me again like he did most of me. I'm writing.
No.
You tried.
No. I mean, you knew I was going to show up in a suit.
Oh, I forgot a suit. All right, it is 6:01. Let's call the meeting to order. I need a motion to approve the agenda.
Before we do that, can I move to amend to add the Pledge of Allegiance, which I know we always do at regular meetings, but for some reason, I guess we don't automatically do it specials, but it would be nice to do it.
Well, I would like to second that motion. So at a special meeting, we would need to have a unanimous vote in favor of amending it to have the Pledge of Allegiance.
If we can add to that a moment of silence afterwards, that'd be great. So let's get a roll call then.
So I would like to move that, then would you like to amend your motion?
Amend in accordance with what Chris suggested. Pledge of Allegiance followed by a moment of silence.
I'd like to second that motion. Roll call vote, sir.
Illingworth,
Aye.
Patterson,
Aye.
Holtz,
Aye.
Austin, aye. Okay, can I get a motion to approve the amended agenda?
So moved.
A second.
Roll call vote.
Illingworth,
Aye.
Patterson,
Aye.
Holtz.
Aye. Aye. So since we have the approval of the agenda, would everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? And Dr. Neal, would you please lead us?
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, on to Roman numeral 3. Tonight will be an action meeting, portion here, for Merit Academy Charter School contract. And this evening, we will be voting up and down vote for the Merit Academy contract through a resolution to approve the charter school contract. Both the resolution and the contract are on the district website. And this is the resolution that we will be voting on. Resolution approving a charter school contract with Merit Academy. Whereas in September 2020, Merit Academy School submitted an application for charter to the school district, which the school district's Board of Education, the board, denied. And whereas in August 2021, the school opened as a K-8 school within the boundaries of the district, pursuant to a contract with Education Re-envisioned BOCES. And whereas on April 13th, 2022, the board adopted a memorandum of understanding, an MOU, with the school, establishing a period of no longer than 90 days to complete and sign a charter contract for a term of 5 years to begin on July 1st, 2022. And whereas the parties further agreed in the MOU that reasonable pre-opening and operating conditions to include finance, staffing, exceptional student services, enrollment, and educational program plans acceptable to the board will be included in the charter contract. And whereas the board desires to grant the school a charter for an initial term of 5 years pursuant to the Charter Schools Act, CRS subsection 22 30.5-101. And whereas the parties have negotiated a charter school contract, including the waiver of certain statutes requested by the school. And whereas the board finds that approval of the Merit Academy Charter School contract substantially in the form attached, together with the attachments to the contract and the waivers of statutes, are consistent with the best interests of the school district, its students, and the community. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of Education of Woodland Park School District RE2 as follows. 1, that the board grants the school a charter for initial term of 5 years. And 2, that the charter school contract substantially in the form attached to this resolution is approved for a 5-year term commencing July 1st, 2022 through June 30th, 2027. And 3, that the school district and the school jointly submit the charter school waiver request form to the State Board of Education as may be required for the waiver of statutes listed on the attachment 6 to the charter school contract. And 4, that the officers of the board, as well as Superintendent Dr. Matthew Neal, and his designee be and are hereby authorized to sign any other documents and take any other actions as may be necessary to properly complete the charter school contract with the State Board of Education and the Colorado Department of Education and other documents to carry out the purposes of this resolution. This is what we will be discussing this evening and whether we will have an up or down vote on. So at this time, I would like to open for board discussion. We've had a lot of input over the last nearly 6 months that this process has started. And so we had a great meeting last night. I thought the dialogue went very well. I learned a lot, and I'd like to hear from each one of you. So if you have a statement or you'd like to give a reflection, I think that the community would like to hear from each of us. I don't expect this, I hope this does not become any kind of a back and forth dialogue, but that it would just be from your heart what you thought. It's just so important to our community. So who would like to go first?
You want me to go first, Chris, or you?
We can draw straws if you wish.
I was thinking ladies first.
And there's always a good woman behind 4 other good men.
You want to go first, Sue?
I'm good.
Okay. All right. Get it out of the way. Thank you, Mr. President. I am very pleased tonight to be able to vote on this resolution, and I do intend to vote in favor of it. With this vote, we join the heritage of the great state of Colorado with its charter schools that have been such a success for decades within this state. With this vote, Teller County becomes a choice county. So in many ways, history is being made tonight. For one thing, in voting yes, I will be fulfilling a campaign promise. So history is being made in the sense that an elected official is actually following through on a campaign promise. But this will be the first charter school in the history of the Woodland Park School District, I believe in Teller County, if I understand things. This will be a way of providing choice to our families. And that's, at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. That's the number one thing. It's my guiding light is always what is going to be best for the kids, and consequently the families, the parents that make those decisions, and the caretakers and guardians. So I think it's appropriate to share a little bit of my own journey on this. I'm sure many people are aware that I got into this race because Merit Academy's charter application was denied. When that happened, I was just a resident of Woodland Park. I had 3 children in the Gateway Elementary School, and I would say that they were not all doing as well necessarily, and I think that's very common with a lot of families that have several kids, is that one may be doing better at a school than the other. And I've heard from lots of families who've had similar experiences. And I will say that one of my children especially really struggled in 2020, the remote learning phase that we all went through. It's around that time that several families really started to get going on a plan to seek the Merit Academy Charter School. I have to tell you guys, at the time, in my own family, we were starting to feel like we were not going to be able to stay in Woodland Park because of the struggles one of my children was having. And our knowledge that those struggles, which were really manifest during screen time with remote learning, concern that they would continue as the Summit Learning Platform became something that that child was going to have to do as he, got older and went into higher grades. That was going to start happening in 4th grade, and he was in 2nd grade at the time. And we really started to think this school district, as wonderful it has been, and my other kids were doing well, that it was not going to be sufficient for the needs of my family. And so Merit Academy seemed like a lifeline. It seemed like an opportunity that was going to allow us to stay in, I just think, the best town I've ever lived in. I grew up in Texas. I went to college in Houston. I went to law school in DC. I was stationed in Okinawa. I did a semester in Ireland. I lived in Oklahoma. So I've been around a couple places. And some were better and nicer than others. Woodland Park is the only place I've ever lived that being there adds something to my life. The serenity and beauty of our town, the friendliness of our neighbors, the sense of security that you get when you take your kids to the movie theater or to the aquatic center. It's a special place. And I just would never want to leave it. But we really thought we were going to have to. And so we followed the charter process with Merit Academy with a great deal of interest. And it felt to us like our lives kind of hinged on what might happen. And so we were very disappointed with the result. And I did look into it. And I disagreed with what was done. I mean, and no disrespect to Mr. Austin, who was part of it. Really, no disrespect. It's a different decision we make today. And I wasn't on the board at the time. I was an outsider. I was a father who cared about which schools and how the education of one of my children was going to affect his whole future. So I disagree with it, and that's my right as an American citizen. And so I decided to do something about it. I decided I would run for the school board. And I promised in my campaign to families all throughout this community. And I met with many of them in person. I went around knocking on doors. And many families, this was their number one. It was this or it was the Summit Learning Platform. And I promised them that I was going to support it, that I believed it was the right thing to do. And I have to tell you guys that it was the right decision for my family. I've heard from lots of other families. This board has heard from lots of other families who have either put some of their children or all their children into Merit, and it felt like that they saw a big transformation, that a child who was struggling seemed to be thriving. And I'm going to tell you the same thing that we've heard from all those other families, which is that it doesn't say anything necessarily about how great our teachers are, how dedicated our administrators are, and how talented our students and how supportive our families are about the Woodland Park schools. But it does say something about the need for choice. This is not about who's better. This is not about protecting egos. This is about providing real, meaningful choice for families. And we have to recognize that having that choice has very real long-term consequences. It can be the difference between a family staying here. It can be the difference between a family choosing to move up here. Because if we had to leave, we would have gone where everybody goes, Colorado Springs, because there's choice there. There are lots of different schools. There's lots of different opportunities. It is time for the Woodland Park School District to join the mission and tradition of our state and provide those opportunities to the families of Teller County. This is a truly special place. We can have truly special schools, and this is an important first step in bringing that choice, those options, those opportunities, that promise for the future of our children to the people of Teller County. So I am very proud to be able to vote in favor of the resolution. Thank you.
Who's next?
I'll go.
The paper, rock, scissors.
I decided that I was going to write my thoughts down. And I'm actually glad that we're seated like this. I know that you feel like we're far away and this wasn't intentional, I'm sure. But I actually like the idea of community. I'm just going to situate my iPad so that the mic is close. I count myself among the many who have spoken, even with passionate concern. I count myself among those who want nothing but success for Merit. I feel the weight of our decision here this evening to vote on this resolution. And I understand that as a director of the Board of Education, my functioning role is that of a servant leader to this district's students and its staff, both current and in the future. I also recognize my obligation to serve the stakeholders of this entire district to the best of my ability, whether I personally agree with their educational philosophies or not. I'm honored to contribute to the collective authority of this board to help ensure a growing, healthy learning environment for all the students within the district. As I clearly stated during last night's public hearing, I was going to assimilate the many comments, answers to questions, email correspondence, as well as the recommendations of the WPSD's District Accountability Committee before I casted my vote. I have allowed that information to both confirm and challenge my orientation towards the conditions of the charter school contract with Merit. A couple of issues have presented themselves in my mind and in my heart today. As a result, I request this board schedule an executive session with our legal counsel in the next few days to discuss these issues before I am comfortable casting my vote on this resolution. I wish to reserve the details of my concerns at this time so as to preserve the attorney-client privilege that we have. But I can tell you that there are two primary motivations for me asking this board to postpone its vote this evening. First, I wish to address stipulations within our contract that need clarifying language to orient both WPSD and Merit Academy towards state statutes and away from subjective interpretation. To quote Merit Academy's Director John Dill, in one of his comments last night, it is Merit Academy's commitment to operate fully in line with state law. I appreciate this posture, and I believe you, John. I also assert that we too, as the board of WPSD, are to hold to that standard at every turn. I believe that the short work that we can do with our attorney will more tightly align us within the terms of our contract towards state law. I see this as a means of safeguarding our future relationship with Merit. Secondly, I have legal questions about conditions and/or omissions within this contract. Since my primary obligation is to WPSD, I wish to explore the answers to these questions with our attorney. And if advised, I'm open to modifying the contract to further ensure clear lines of demarcation and expectations between WPSD and Merit Academy. I ask this in clear understanding that the term of this contract is 5 years, while each of our current terms are within 1.5 to 3.5 years. Assuming that we will have new members on this board before the term of this contract is over, I wish to explore specific ways to safeguard WPSD under the leadership of any and all board members. Please be assured, I am not creating artificial roadblocks here. These concerns are the result of newly acquired ideas, challenges, and confirmations. Please give me the opportunity to grow in my confidence that approving a charter school contract with Merit Academy is good for all. If I were to propose a timeline, I would suggest we schedule an executive session as early as Saturday or possibly Monday. While I cannot predict this board's response to any issues that I might bring to that session, nor can I predict Merit Academy's response to any amendments might we make them to the contract, I can say that I am hopeful that we would likely have a public vote on this resolution at our next scheduled board meeting on May 25th or shortly thereafter. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Mrs. Patterson.
I think tonight I didn't prepare a speech, but I think tonight we're not closing any doors, but we're opening doors for school choice. And we are, as a board member, my job primarily is to represent parents. That's who I was elected, parents in the community. And I also have spoke to many community members. And there's a lot of support for school choice, and we're paving new roads. And I hear Mr. Austin's concerns, but no paper or anything written on paper is going to be perfect. We are going to have some bumps in the road. That's just life. And I'm going into this contract with good faith. I know it's what a lot of the community wants. I heard what the DAC said last night, and I think everything that the DAC had concerns about were brought up and were resolved. I'm very much in favor of voting to approve this charter contract tonight, and I think this is a new wave for Woodland Park and the community, and to keep parents here and to keep families here and to provide choice and to bring Merritt and Woodland Park School District together to collaborate. So I think the only positive can come out of signing this contract tonight. So I'm in favor of approving this contract and going forward.
Thank you, Mrs. Patterson. I have to say, I have given this more consideration than perhaps even when I got married. We've been married, around 40 years. So I've talked to a lot of people. As a matter of fact, I would say I've listened to a lot of people surrounding this. I was accused from one side by spending too much time at the coffee shops with the opposition to them, then accused, well, I spend too much time with other people. I thought it was my duty to listen to everyone because, first and foremost, although I won't set my virtues and my values aside, I am the representative of the people, whether I agree with them or not. My duty is as a servant to the people. So I take this decision very, very seriously. I was honored to be invited to participate in the District Accountability Committee to listen to their concerns. I was in agreement with Director Austin that questions needed to be answered. It was very, very serious that we do the right thing at the right time for our school district. For the parents, I listened to parents during the campaign and what they wanted. I actually heard about Merritt Academy before I was a candidate and was invited at someone's house to, quite accidentally, to hear all about it as it was founding. I heard the objections to it, and I heard mostly from people, look, we're not objecting to a charter school. We are not objecting to school choice. We're objecting to how several things, that the rushed process that it had seemed to be. And there were others who said, this is taking way too long. I heard from people saying that we don't trust or like the financial situation of the school. It's not a stable school. They have too much debt. I heard from other people that the debt, everything is well within the ranges that it should be. I heard that there was too much wiggle room in this contract, specifically with 10.2 and 10.3, that the language was assuming too much for school facilities. So I also heard that parents wanted an opportunity to send their kids to another school this year in Woodland Park. Like I said last night, the community is divided on this. It is seriously divided on this. Tonight, half the people, after we make a decision tonight, half the people will be very happy about this. The other people will be very sad, angry, no matter which side of the aisle we sit on. I say all this to say that I take this very, very seriously. I do believe in school choice. And my biggest concern about all of this, to be honest with you, is the way we're going to treat each other. Should this school pass, this contract pass, should it not? How will we treat each other? I've received so many emails today, both back and forth, people were angry with me. My goodness, there's people at our church, my church that I've gone to, I've had their kids in Sunday school. They won't talk to me. They won't look at me. And I hate what this has done or has revealed to our community. Our nation is divided. And I think that this is a bit of a microcosm here of that division. And I would ask each one of you here to search your heart. What is the most important thing? It's unity. I believe that in the United States, it is unity, that we find common ground on things. And that we are an agent for peace, and that because we are better together, that theme of our WPSD. Tina Cassens, she really hit me pretty broadsided with that the other night when I was rallying about competition. And she said, no. In schools, we need unity. We need together because we're stronger that way. And I had to agree with her. We are stronger when we are together. So I'm going to ask everybody here, like I did last night, please be determined that Woodland Park, this beautiful place that I have lived for 20 years, that it stays a united community at the end of all this. I have to decide tonight what is best, what I believe that parents think are best for their kids. This is all about the kids. And it's like Yvonne Goings. She has said all the time, we get into a conversation over at the school and we have to decide, we're talking about, well, will this work out for the teachers better? Will this work out? And they all slow down. They say, no, what is best for the kids? So that's where I'm at on this. What is best for the kids? What is best for the parents? What do the parents want for their children? Originally, I was going to stand with Chris and say that I would like to have a little bit more time to talk about this. Last night, my questions were answered. I appreciated being able to go back and forth with face-to-face rather than through attorneys to see if my questions could be answered. And I thought that was a very valuable process last night. And I appreciate all of you who are here again tonight for being there last night. So I thought that process was important. I believe the one question that was a rushed question, have we rushed through this? We answered all the questions. Unfortunately or fortunately, I'm tasked with the choice of having to decide one way or the other. So I assure you that my decision tonight will be a decision that I think, in my perspective, as your elected servant, of what I think is the best for the parents, the kids, and WPSD. So that's all I have to say.
Mr. President? Yes. If it's not too untoward to directors of the board, Mr. President, as an ex officio of the board, a non-voting member, before you take this vote, I would like to give credit to at least my staff this evening. There are members in the audience that once this vote is taken, it may not seem as one way or the other, but the three men that are in this audience sitting here have put in, I can't imagine the amount of time they put in. I'd also like to listen, that would be Brian Gustafson, Miles Tuttle, and Young Aaron. Sean Goings has also repeatedly stood through nearly 16 meetings on this topic, providing security. And then Tina Cassens, who is not present this evening, has put in almost every night this week already. And so on this work. These four individuals sat in the same room over the last 18 months and have seen this journey from so many perspectives. And I truly honor their transparency, their forthright work nature, always putting their own personal opinions on the shelf and making sure of doing what was expected of them in the professional context. I can tell you honestly, I have no idea whether they would vote or not vote for this tonight, and that's probably the way that it should be. That is their professional context, and I thank them for that effort. Brian Gustafson in specific over the last 3-4 weeks, Saturday nights, Sundays, lots of time. And so I will be moving forward with the board of some form of gratitude from the board, from us to them at some point. But in the meantime, gentlemen, thank you for your enduring support of kids of Teller County.
I'm going to add on to that a little bit. I spent time talking with Brian about this, and I appreciated his quick review of the Merit financials, taking his own time to do all of that and to do it so quickly, to come up with a model that was honest, balanced, and fair. And in the conversations that I've had with Brian, he is a good man, a man of high integrity, and I am honored to have known him and to spend time with him. And I want to wish him the absolute best for him and his family as they move on. And I haven't known you that long, but I assure you, you will be sorely missed, and I will be sad to see you leave. Thank you so much for your service to this school and the community.
All right. I need a motion to approve resolution as read, approving a charter school contract with Merit Academy.
So moved.
Second.
Give me a second here and make sure I do this right. I don't know who.
No.
I need a second.
I second.
Roll call vote, please.
Time is 6:30.
6:37.
Billingworth,
Aye.
Patterson,
Aye.
Westerholt,
Aye.
Austin.
No.
Members of the board, the resolution passes. Congratulations, Merit Academy.
I need a motion to adjourn the special meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Patterson. Billingworth,
Aye.
Patterson,
Aye.
Westerholt,
Aye.
Austin. Aye. 6:30.
Members of the community, we probably will not spend a lot of time as this is our fourth evening in this room tonight. If you'd like to convene, I would encourage you to do so within the next 10 minutes or so outside the building so that Sean can go and spend time with his family as well as senior staff. Thank you.
and I'll leave because I gotta get someplace else.
I know you got a 6 o'clock.
Yeah, I have a 7 o'clock, yeah, and it's 20 minutes from now. Do you, oh, thank you very much. Do you, since you tell me the next steps, what's going on next?
I really appreciated your questions last night.
Submit to the Colorado Department.
Like Ray wanted to go, so I was gonna sit just in the audience.
That's where I was gonna sit.
I didn't know if they had some special seats or we're gonna go anonymous or what. That's what I was gonna ask Dr. Neal.
There's something the president is supposed to do.
President and secretary.
He's gotta sign, other than sign all.
Oh, at the high school
Did
thing?
you sign it?
Mr. Russ Holtz, would you mind signing that?
Yes.
This is the one you want me to
I
sign?
need 2 copies signed. We need a witness. I need, you and Chris both sign it. One is for us and one is for Meredith.
Here, here's a second copy.
And if you do
We have board president here from them as well.
It's only you and Chris that sign it, and it has to be in blue ink, please.
Blue, I do not have blue.
I can
Oh, I
find
have
it.
blue.
I have some.
Sign plea agreement. That sends people to prison. I mean.
But they just tell me it can't be photocopied.
I don't like
It's supposed to be the other direction. Blue,
the 80s anymore.
Right.
that was a long time ago. So then when does the lease thing
All
come?
right.
Okay, so this is
Occasion where we should.
what you did for a while?
Like that. Really good.
For a little while? Behind the scenes.
We have tons of work to do on it.
I seriously did. I wanted
And next Wednesday, we will probably have an executive session.
After the